Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother Canada updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Krista Patton. Thank you so much for supporting us on Patreon. You're awesome. We'd really appreciate it. And if you guys want to be house guest of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. You can get a holla for $1. Alright, so let's talk about what's going on in the house. So yesterday, some of the boys were having a good time in the pool. They had a little mermaid school going on. And then they moved the mermaid action to the hot tub. That is loud. So Phil, Ramsey, Joel, and Tim were all hanging out. And Tim brings up a little bit of game chat. He's like, we cannot let Dallas and Jared end up working together. Because he wants those two to go after each other so that everybody else can just sit back and watch the show. So, on another level, Dallas is really close to Maddie, and Jared is really close to Kelsey. So, if those two start hanging out, then the girls might not go after each other, and just, like, the whole thing collapses. So, everybody's like, oh, interesting. I don't think they're going to have to worry too much about Dallas and Jared working together. Maddie and Dallas were chatting, and they were discussing how Jared told both of them that he likes them, so they're like, oh, ho-de-do, how exciting. But then, like 2 seconds later, they're like, so if we win HOH next week, Maddie and Dallas both agree that they want to target Jared and his group. So then Maddie's like, well, Dallas, why have you been hanging out with them so much? Like, what's the deal with that? It's kind of sketchy. So he's like, well, don't you know the phrase, like, keep your friends close and your enemies closer? So Maddie did not seem too convinced with that answer. We're going to come back to that. So Christine and Levita were having a game chat in the HOH, and Levita's like, Christine, I want you to stay. Cassandra is sneaky, and she's got to go. So we all know that Christine can't stand Levita, but she's like kind of kissing her butt a little bit right now because she does want to stay in the house. And she's like, I think I'm going to be able to flip Kelsey and her group and get the votes to stay. I'm going to do my best. I have to say, like, Christine has not been hustling much here. She's not really putting up a good campaign, so I don't know what her chances are of actually staying. If she does stay, it's probably not going to be because she's like this amazing campaigner. It's going to be because they want Cassandra out. So Cassandra was talking about her votes with Kelsey and Jared. She thinks that she has the 6 votes that she needs to stay now with Joel's vote, but she's worried that he could flip because he's so close to Levita and he might want to, you know, please her and vote the way that she wants. So she's like, just to be safe, I'm going to work on Nikki's vote. That's my goal right now. So they're like, okay, get to it. Sounds good. All right, let's talk about Mitch. I'm getting a little bit worried about Mitch because it seems like he's not so far under the radar anymore. And he's also turning into Mitch the Snitch. So he tells Raul and Kelsey about Dallas's failed plan to backdoor Jared this week. He's like, yeah, Dallas was really pushing for it, but Levita wasn't going to do it. Meanwhile, Levita was telling Jared about said plan, and she's like, yeah, he was pushing for it. I didn't want to make a big move like that. I didn't want to do that to you this early in the game. So Jared's like, okay, cool. So he tells Levita he wants to work on his relationship with the brothers. He wants to clear things up there and let them know he was not involved with the plan to potentially backdoor them this week. That was Dallas. Dallas was talking about everybody. But I mean, like, I guess. Okay, so Mitch and the brothers were talking some game while playing pool last night. And Mitch advises Phil, like, you need to cool it a bit because you tend to get a little bleh, and that makes people think that you're not trustworthy. So, especially while you're around emotional players like Raul and Kelsey, you need to just, like, smile, let it go, and get over it, and stop giving them reasons not to trust you. Because there was a little bit of an issue with Phil and Kelsey last night. Kelsey was trying to tell him that Jared was not part of the potential plan to backdoor him and Nick, but he was just like, bleh, like exactly like that. So it looks like Mitch is trying to mend fences between the brothers and the trio. I'm assuming it's so that they will unite and go after Dallas. That's what it looks like. But Mitch might be digging himself in a little bit too deep. So, I think Phil is really gonna lose his shit when he hears that Nick and Maddie were kissing last night. Oh my god. Keep in mind, Maddie has a boyfriend back home. Just saying. I'm just saying. So yeah, it's gone past cuddling now. I don't know. It's like more than Kelsey and Jared. They're like the showmans of the season. I don't know. Whatever. So I'm just throwing it out there. So Dallas and Phil were talking some game, and Dallas brings up Mitch. He's like, you know what? Mitch is definitely working with that trio of Jared, Kelsey, and Raul. So that's basically a group of 4 now. And then Cassandra is like a 5th person tacked onto that group. So he's saying Cassandra's gotta go. They can't give that group another vote. So Dallas also brings up how Cassandra was trying to get Levita to nominate the brothers this week. That is true. But Phil, I don't think Phil trusts Dallas. So he's taking this whole thing with a grain of salt. So then Phil and Cassandra have a one-on-one chat. And Cassandra's like, I've always wanted to work with you. I think your brother and you are really cool. And she says that she had nothing to do with that potential backdoor plan this week. Again, she's lying, but Phil is like, oh, it's okay. Even if you were, like, whatever, it's over, it's okay. So we already know that Phil has said that he wants Cassandra out this week. But then they're talking more and more, and they realize they have common targets in the house. They both want to get rid of Dallas. They both want to get rid of Levita. So Phil ends up promising his vote to Cassandra for this week, and not only that, they decide that they want to work together along with Tim. Alright, so they're like really all about this alliance now. They want to come up with a name and everything, make it official. They're like patting themselves on the back. They're like, oh my god, we may have just won the game. So they're really excited about it. We'll see if that actually happens. I don't know. But this morning, Cassandra's really having a tough week. She was the lucky person to find the barbecue sauce in the shampoo bottle. And I think Raul was the one who found the mouthwash in the soap dispenser. Not as bad, I don't think, as the barbecue in the hair. But after she got all that out of there, she was talking to Jared and Kelsey, and she let them know that she secured the brothers' vote last night. So they're like, yay, good job. And then 2 seconds later, they go off on their own and talk about if they actually want to keep her this week. Ah! Alright, so Kelsey says that Levita is putting doubts in her head. She's not so sure that she wants to keep Cassandra this week. And Jared is getting really tired of the way that Cassandra acts around the house. She is always trying to get other people to do everything for her. She wants everyone to cook for her, to clean for her, and he's tired of it. So all that aside, in the end, he thinks it's better to keep Cassandra this week. So we'll see. I don't know. It's still early. But Levita is getting annoyed because she's now hearing that the brothers are talking about potentially keeping Cassandra. So she doesn't like that. She's like, aren't we working together? Why are you going against me like this? So Phil is now actively campaigning to people to keep Cassandra in the house. It was like a total 180. So he talked to Joel and Mitch separately. He was like, guys, I know you are close to Levita, but don't let her strong-arm you. She said you should do what's best for your game, and honestly, it's best for you to keep Cassandra. So they're like, something to think about. So then, this is not game-related. Nikki had an epic meltdown. I mean, like, crying, screaming, yelling, insane. So she was up in the HOH room with Levita and Mitch, who were trying to calm her down. She's talking about how she can't sleep. She's so uncomfortable. People keep eating her food. She just wants to go home and have her freedom back. And I mean, this went on and on and on. But it seems like the food issue is like one of the biggest problems that she's having. She said the vultures eat everything. The vultures. She also brought up how someone ate an entire bar of dark chocolate. And that's one of the main things that she eats, so it's not cool. But in all seriousness, like, I hope she's okay, because she seemed really, really upset. But like I said, Mitch and Levita were comforting her, and eventually, are you kidding me? And eventually, Levita got her to meditate and calm down a bit, so hopefully she's not going to leave, because that would really suck. But anyway, hopefully she'll be okay tomorrow. Let's get back to the game. So Maddie and Ramsey are getting pretty nervous about Dallas. They notice he's spending a lot of time with the trio, like I said earlier, and Ramsey's like, I don't trust him, but I'm going to keep up that illusion for now, because we might need him, you never know. So they confront Dallas about it, and Dallas is like, I'm keeping my enemies closer, I told you that. So that's not a good enough answer for Maddie, and things are getting very aggressive between Dallas and Maddie. Ramsey is trying to keep the peace. Dallas is like, if you guys really want to jump ship, then go right ahead. So, like I said, very aggressive. But they agree that they're going to talk about it more later. I just feel like those three are such a freaking mess. And I don't know if they're actually going to stay loyal to each other or what. But Levita got her HOH camera today. They took pictures. They took some short videos that'll be made into GIFs. And I'm spent. So, we're going to pick it up there tomorrow. Hopefully Nikki's going to be okay. Let me know what you guys think of the voting breakdown so far for this week. And until tomorrow, much love.
Edit.